It amazes me how people think that to have a skill at a high level is an easy thing. That people who can do things like, let's say, play well in sports, do well in business, have good relationships, just exhibit skills, just do them with ease. Just a natural occurrence. Well, let me tell you the truth. Anything that you see anyone do at a high level, they do it through hard work. They get up early, they go to bed late, they put in the time that most people put in watching TV or talking or just wasting time. I know there are people who have natural abilities, but still, if you look at anyone, I mean, Tiger Woods, for example, when he was at his top of his game, when he would win a tournament, he would go and spend time with his coach and continue to learn. He wouldn't just sit on his laurels and just wait for the next opportunity. He would go and study. Michael Jordan spent many hours perfecting his skills. People who play instruments, Ray Charles, Count Basie, just it goes on and on. Michael Jackson, for example, he spent hours studying music and dance and just honing his craft. And even in my life, I spent many hours studying and practicing and just doing a lot of trial and error to make sure I get my skills where they need to be. Now, there are things that you can do, especially nowadays with the age we live in, with the computers and the internet. You can download software and games that you can use to practice your mental acuity, your math skills. You can study things, but you have to put in that time. And it bothers me when people see the skills that I have and they want to learn them, but they're not willing to put in the time necessary to get the results that they need. And once I showed someone something, I showed them how I remembered a long series of numbers. And the guy said, "Wow, man, if I could do that, my life would just be so much better. I could just learn so much. I could learn, to read my religious materials and memorize things, and I could teach my kids these things." And he went off about how much he could derive so much more enjoyment in his life if he could just learn the skill. I showed him how to, memorize things. That's okay. You know what? I'm going to show you how to do it. Give you a lesson, and we'll have to come back to it because it's a progression. So I sat him down, and we went to the first lesson, and went well. Demonstrated skills, showed him what I had to do. I said, "Okay, now it's going to take you about a week to get this done. This particular level. So I'll see you in a week, and we'll take it from there." And in my mind, I thought, yeah, he's going to just, take this, use this, and just, create a whole new experience for himself. So a week later, and I said, "So how's it going?" I said, "Oh, I had time to do that. I was too busy, It's okay, well, we can't continue because we need to get that level down. So we'll see you next week." So a week later, "So how's it going?" I don't get time for that. I'm too busy." I said, "What about this, thing you talked about, how much you want to learn and teach your kids and how much better it'll make your life?" He goes, "Yeah, you're right, but I'll be okay, And that's what it's all about. People don't understand it takes time and effort, and it takes just really doing what other people won't do. Now, think about the military, okay? Like the Navy SEALs, Army Rangers, the Marines, any of these special operators. They go into what is called boot camp, and they are put to the test of will to see what they're really made of. And they're broken down, to just the bare essentials of life. They're not given a lot of creature comforts. They're yelled at. They're put to the task of running and jumping and doing all kind of stuff, and speaking certain things, and just having a different mindset. Now, for example, when it comes to the Navy SEALs, they have a thing called Hell Week, where you go through a series of trials that get your body and mind prepared to become a Navy SEAL, special operator. And they run them, and they have them swim. A lot of times their hands are cuffed behind their back, and you have to go underwater and come up, and they have to run, carrying heavy objects, doing push-ups with these large boulders, and just doing all kind of stuff. I remember in a movie I saw about Navy SEALs where they went through the whole, like say, half a day of exercise. Then they were told they had 1 minute to eat their meal. And so they went to the chow area and they ate real fast. Then they said, minutes up, threw all their food into barrels, big trash bins, and then they went back out and exercised. And after another series of hours, they came back and they had laid all the bins out there. And they said, that's your food. And they ate the food. So, it's demoralizing. But what they do is they have a bell. And if a person wants to ring the bell, they can ring the bell and they can just quit. It's a voluntary discharge. It's shameful, but it's something that they are opting to do. And they're encouraged at any point, go and ring the bell. You can leave, you'll be comforted, you'll be put back on the plane, you're back home with mom and daddy. Go do it. And they don't want to quit. They don't want to, shame themselves and give up. But a lot of them do. And I think only 10% of the guys that go in actually make it through. But the point is, most don't. That's the point. Because not that they can't do it, it's that they tell themselves that they can't do it. And they voluntarily quit. But those who make it, those who get through this, become the best of the best in the world. But the thing about it is this here. Once they get through it, they're never required to do it again. You see, that was the initiation. Now you start to actually learn what it takes to be a special operator after you get through the initiation. Well, that's what it's all about, getting through it. But the thing that I'm talking about, high skills, showing yourself to be somebody who can do something that others can't do, that takes a lifetime of practice and a lifetime of exploring what you're doing. Now, when it comes to reading, memorization, math skills, anything, one thing I can say, I'm not being, I'm going to say this very softly. I don't know anyone who can do what I can do. That's my point. I've heard of people who can do it. I've heard of those who can do it better. But if I walk into a room and I say, who can multiply a 4 by 4 number, or square a 3 by 3 number, or who can memorize 100 pages of a magazine, or who can say multiple phrases in different languages, I won't find anybody. And that's not because I'm so great, it's just that because I put myself into that particular mindset where I want to do these things. And I tell you what, when I learn a new skill, I try it out, and I fall on my face a lot in the beginning, but I get through it. Remember when I first learned the calendar technique, and I sat down and I learned it, and I wanted to practice. So I meet people and I go, hey, learn this calendar technique, tell me your birthday and see if I can do it. And sometimes I was right, and a lot of times I was wrong. And they go, oh, that's close, But I told myself, you know what, if I don't put in the effort to where it doesn't really matter, like if I made a mistake in front of these people, they're not going to, put me down for it. But I know that when I get to the point where I really want to present these skills to people who really want to give me something for my time, I better be good at it. So it's better to make a mistake before people who really don't matter than to screw up in front of those who really could have made a difference in your life. Okay, so it goes on and on. I'm not really going to talk about myself as much as I want you to understand that a high level of skill demands a high level of sacrifice. If we see people on TV and talk about you can do something in just in a few days or a few weeks, that's just a starting point. Just a starting point, because if you go through one program like Insanity or Hooked on Phonics or Brainetics or anything physical or mental, if you don't continue to use the skills, they will diminish. It's like learning a language. You can study French for 4 years in university and come out only being able to say deja vu. Okay? So, understand that if you're going to submit yourself to any kind of study or skill level that you want to excel in, you have to go through it with an effort that will make you stand out. First, of being someone who is just totally, involved in this. You might lose friends or lose time, but once you get through that hell week, we'll call it, you're going to be the best of the best. Remember that. And that's what you're looking for. You're not looking to do anything but do it right. You don't want to just get in there and just, okay, I put in effort. You don't want to do that. You want to say, I succeeded, and now I'm on to better things. Take care.